Welcome to More Than Missionary. We are your hosts, Kristina,
Ashley,
and today's Minisode. So we are currently recording this right now about December 17th. So we're kind of in our end of year headspace right now, thinking about what we got going on for 2024. So we wanted to do a nice little, just like a little quick mini-sode on what our goals are, and maybe we can review these goals by like the end of the year too, by the end of 2024. And I thought it'd be a great idea to kind of dive deep, ask each other some questions, and talk about our goals for 2024. So that being said, since we're talking on our podcast, would love to ask you, Ashley, about what your goals are for our pod for this next year.
I guess our first year is just going to be more about like learning and figuring out what works for us, what doesn't, what we like to talk about, what we don't find as fun, stuff we don't find as fun to talk about. And then just kind of work on building a community of cool peeps that want to talk more about sex.
Yeah, no, definitely. I love that. My goals for the pod for this upcoming year are consistency. I fall short on consistency quite often in many areas of my life. So just kind of like maintaining focus and being able to like consistently do this, month on month for the both of us, and putting in more of that consistent effort would be really lovely for my goal. And then would really love to focus on, doing more like outreach to you guys, more like viewership in our podcast. But because I really think we have a lot to contribute with what we're trying to say to people, regardless if it's like, even if we just like to hear ourselves talk, which, like, is also true. But, like I'm just being upfront there. But I do want more people to be able to hear what we have to say and get their input on the pod. And just, I don't know, just creating more fulfilling and good content for ourselves and for you guys. So those are my goals for the pod.
What do you feel like you learned from this year that you've now created to take into next year to like create more growth for yourself
in regards to like
anything
like
any aspect of your life where this year you were like, oh, this year I really focused on this, I think I'm gonna grow?
So for me, for 2023, I did a lot of boundary work for myself and creating boundaries with other people. That was very difficult for me. I'm definitely a big people pleaser, so being able to, really put down boundary lines and maintain those boundary lines with the certain people in my life was a huge hurdle and successful implementation in my life from 2023, and something I definitely want to continue on doing in 2024. It really helped me develop much more confidence in how I speak to people and just in myself in general. So definitely the boundaries, standing up for myself, which is part of that, boundaries and verbalizing, communicating to people very clearly in clear terms where I'm at, and also, I would say cutting out a lot of negativity in my life in 2023 was a big theme, which I will say, guys, naturally happens. Like, I got married this year, so, like, you could say that was a goal, but, like, I was engaged, so we were planning the wedding, so that was a very, amazing, wonderful time to be able to plan that, but it was also very stressful, and it really showed me the truth about a lot of people in my life. It's very interesting how that type of event in your life will really showcase people's intentions towards you. Something I wasn't expecting, but it was something that I'm glad it happened. So I've noticed that I have grown as a person because of it. So that was something I really focused on in 2023. For 2024, something I would like to really focus on is more of probably more on like my spiritual side of things. Utilizing or doing more of my shadow work is a really big goal for me, and journaling, which is very,
This seems to be a reoccurring theme.
Yeah.
Is the journaling.
The journaling. Like, I need to journal more. I get, like, scared to journal for some reason. I have this, like, weird thought in the back of my brain that's, like, somebody's going to find my journal one day and read it, and so I'm, like, it's, like, almost like I don't feel safe writing in my journal. I have not dived deep enough into why that is.
Yeah, I was like, girl,
I'm like, it is something I have absolutely talked to my therapist about. I'm not going to discuss where I'm at with it because it has to do with, like, some childhood privacy issues. So, like, I think I just didn't, yeah. So, I definitely want to do more journaling. In 2022, I was, like, very consistently meditating, and I need to get back into that. That, I think, was so helpful for centering myself. And I definitely want to continue. I want to refocus and do that more. And there's a couple extra things. Like, I want to explore more of, like, the clairsentient side of myself, which I think that I have some one of the clairs. I definitely have one of the clairs. I'm very, like, intuitive on a lot of aspects, so I'd like to really focus on, like, opening my third eye and getting more into that, and I it's going to take a lot of shadow work in order to do that, so it's kind of, so you got to step one, get down into my shadow work.
You definitely leveled up spiritually this year, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I became way more open. I, like, came out of the broom closet, I feel like, to everybody I knew. So one of the last things for me in 2023 was opening up to a specific person in my family that I was very concerned and worried about being judged for, and it was like, it wasn't like a necessary thing for me to tell them. It's my business, but it felt weird to not be honest about it, and, like, kind of not talk about it by omission. And it's like, I'm not going to talk about it all the time or anything with this person. It's just something I wanted them to know. It just, like, hey, this is a part of me. It's important to me. I'm not going to talk about it with you, but this is, I just wanted to let you know. And this person in particular is, very much strong in their own faith and really believes in what they believe. So I was very concerned about telling them. And once I told them, like, I told them in a very safe setting, and it was a very, it wasn't an easy conversation, but it was something that I'm really glad that I was able to do, because it helped me grow into out of that closet. Like, the closet started to feel too cramped. So I was like, all right, I gotta...
Well, yeah, we got a lot of herbs in there, a lot of candles.
Yeah, I got a lot of herbs and candles in there. Like, as you see, you can't see it from this angle from where you guys are, but from where Ashley is sitting, like, my altar is, like, up on display. Like, like, it's out. The candles are going. Like,
We should do, like, on the TikTok... I feel like such an old person when I say that. On the TikTok.
On the TikTok.
If it's wanted, we should do, like, an altar, like, display. Like,
like what our altars look like right now. I know, and I love decorating.
I know. So, like, I change it with the seasons.
I change it with the seasons. So I currently have a little mistletoe thing above my altar.
Cute. Yeah, I know. I love that.
I also have, out of my old Christmas tree from last year, I made my own bundle, like my own, it's obviously not a sage bundle, it's like a pine bundle. So I made that, and now I'm like, I use it seasonally, so I really
It's so funny how similar but different our altars are.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know what your altar looks like, actually, but I feel like you have a lot of, like, dark themes like mine. Like, mine's very, like,
and
moody.
A lot of candles.
It's, like, moody and a lot of candles. So.
But because I'm like I don't know, what would we be called? Multi-pagans?
I don't know. I'm just like, I'm into witchcraft. Like, I'm a witch, and I don't really know what that...
we both subscribe to, like, all the gods.
That's true. I mean, that's why I'm like, yeah, you could say it's, like, just, like, a multifaceted pagan. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
So I have, like, stuff for Hecate, I have stuff for Ed, and I have stuff for Hades, I have stuff for Persephone's.
Nice.
Persephone, I have stuff for Thor. So I have, like, a And then I also, so like the top section is for like my gods and goddesses, and then my bottom section is for my ancestral.
Oh, that's cool. See, I actually really want to expand mine. I guess that could be a goal for me in 2024 is expanding my altar, because I do want an ancestral one. I have like this awesome pottery. So my great grandmother was a potter, and she was really good. Like, we have a bunch of her pottery scattered throughout my family, and I have two things. I have a water, like a water pitcher that she made, and I also have a flower like vase that you would hang on a wall. And what's something that's really cool, so I saw a psychic medium a couple of years ago, and when I saw them, this was like right after I had acquired her stuff, as well as acquiring a photo of me and her and the other family members, when I was probably like 4 or 5 maybe in the photo. So I had just gotten this. So I go to this session, and I'm talking to this psychic, and she literally tells me that there is a woman, like, and says my grandmother's name, my great-grandmother's name, and I was like, there's no way, like, that this person would know this. And what I had realized later is, when you carry those things into your home, that soul is attached to that, right?
Oh, energy's definitely
that energy is in there. So of course they're going to be there. And I thought that was so interesting that, like, she even described, like, you have a photo in your house and it's specifically of this. Like, she's telling me this. And I was like, that's really fucking cool.
It's so weird.
So that was like, it gave me goosebumps.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I love when people have that, like, weird. I'm not that spiritually gifted. I wish I was.
Honestly, I've only, like, occasionally, I feel like it happens in, like, little sporadic things. Like, it's not like I'm consistently, like, getting this.
I don't get it for other people.
You don't get it for other people?
No.
Oh.
I get it for myself. I get it from spirits. Give me a lot of information about my past lives.
See, I want to do past regenerative?
Past life regression.
Past life regression. I love to do
So
that.
I've done that a few times.
It seems so, like, fascinating.
It can be really, you have to be in a really good mind space. I haven't done one in a long time because they can be very traumatic.
I'm sure. I mean, because it's like, don't they, like, you have to
think about it, how many lives we've lived up to this point.
Many.
Yeah. I think there was, like, a philosopher that said that, like, we've lived up to, at this point, every single human has had at least 86 lifetimes or something like that.
Shit.
So, I don't know, that's a lot.
That is a lot. What spiritual goals do you have for yourself this 2024?
Girl, I'm completely leveling up 2024.
Level up.
I'm leveling up.
Can you go into more detail, please?
Yeah, I'm real nervous about it, actually.
Oh, man.
I'm quitting smoking.
Wow. Good for you. I'm not there yet.
So 2023, I quit nicotine.
Good for you. Good for you.
And I like, towards the end of the year, I quit binge drinking.
Really?
I wasn't, like, an alcoholic or like, I would go out almost, like, every weekend to every other weekend.
Yeah, that's like you're going.
Yeah.
Like,
I was, like, constantly going out on Saturday nights and stuff. Yeah. And, like, I would work the next day, but, like, so I would never get, like, stupid. Well, I would. There were a few nights, I'm not gonna lie, that I got stupid. There was like, one night in Nashville I got pretty...
Oh, my God, Nashville.
Pretty
that was
trashy.
so much fun.
I just realized towards the end of the year, this year, that, like, I just didn't like who I was when I drank. Yeah. I'm very much a control freak. I'm very much always in control of my emotions, and I'm very emotional when I drink.
Yeah, I'm not feel out of control.
Yeah, I'm very out of control. So, yeah, I just, like, kind of cut back on that, and then I just decided, like, I'm kind of being a bum lately. Not a bum, but, like, I'm just not living life to my fullest potential.
Yeah.
And I'm very much a work hard now so that I can rest later.
Yeah.
So, in order for me to fulfill all my, like, financial and career goals and, like, building a family, all those things, like, actually, you know, decide, like, actually dating and, like, doing that stuff, too, to, you know, find a person, do the family thing, like, get my mind right for all of that.
Yeah, no, that's...
Like, fair, yeah. I think I just need to really cut back on the smoking. So.
Yeah, I feel like Gabe my husband seems to kind of be in that boat, too, where he's like, I want to, like, do certain things, and I feel like as much as smoking is really enjoyable, like, need to cut back, because it's, like, kind of putting obstacles that are for yourself that might not be fully necessary.
So I really use it for medicinal reasons, but I then it goes from medicinal to coping.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I feel like I only smoke either on the weekends or, like, right before bed, and that's kind of about it. So I'm like, yeah, like, honestly, smoking less throughout the day is going to be very helpful, I think, if you are
I
doing
smoke
that.
a lot.
Yeah, see, like, I definitely, like, I use it every day, but I use it, like I said, I use it at night before I go to bed. Because of the nature of my, like, day job, I would never smoke weed.
So I don't smoke when I'm working, but as soon as I'm done working.
Yeah, like, when I'm done working and I'm home and I'm off the clock, like, yeah, I will absolutely partake. Just to, yeah. It's kind of like to wind myself down. And, like, I'm sure I'm using it, like, a bit of as a crutch, but I'm like, whatever, I'm fine with that right
There's
now.
even times in the morning when I'm getting ready for work and, like, I'll have, like, a little bit of a panic attack and I'll hit my stizzy.
And then
I'll be chill.
Yeah, I feel like if you're using it, like, medicinally, though, it's not that bad.
But that's the issue. It goes from medicinal to
yeah, it's like an easily slippery slope.
Yeah. So I'm genuinely concerned about the people around me in that time, because I know I'm not very pleasant, when I'm going sober, because I mean, you see how much weed I smoke. I smoke a lot of weed.
I know many people that do that too, though. It's very common. Very common.
I'm going to wean myself off, and I know that weaning period, like the first 30 days, is really going to suck for everybody around me.
Yeah.
I apologize in advance.
It's okay.
I'm going to be such a bitch.
I have a lot of patience, so it's okay. I have an abundance of patience.
And then after that sets in, like, my real personality.
Yeah.
Which, like... you've never met me, like, sober.
I feel like when you're consistently, like, doing something, it definitely changes your personality a bit.
I'm really hyper.
Yeah, I'm hyper too, and it's definitely why I smoke. Like, like, sometimes I'll get home and I've got, like, this ridiculous amount of, like, stupid ass energy, and I'm like, I need to calm down. Like, it's time to relax, Kristina. And I have to force myself to relax. So I definitely understand, and I do get that.
It's the ADHD in us.
It's absolutely the ADHD in us. So.
I get too hyper.
I actually also included on here, I was like, ooh, like, I want to add, like, a couple fun goals for myself, too. So I'm getting a tattoo at the end of this year, but I'd like to get another one next year. Haven't decided what that is quite yet. I have a list of things, like, I have, like, a list of, like, tattoos I want to get, and I just kind of want to be like, which one do I want the most? So I'd like to get another tattoo. And then, so this year, I'm so proud of myself. I had a goal of reading 50 books, and I read 64 books. And I was like, hell yeah. I was like, I went from not really reading much at all before this year to reading a shit ton. And I found, like, a new love. Like, I absolutely love reading. And I feel like I liked reading a lot when I was a kid. But then it's like you go to school and then you go to college and it becomes more of a task than it becomes a chore rather than something enjoyable. So now that I've had enough time from being in school to kind of disassociate myself, that mentality to reading, I've, like, found a new love for reading again, which has been great. So I'd like to read, my goal for this year is to read 70 books. And then hopefully as the years go on, I can get like 100, and then like that would be a really big goal, is to read 100 books. But
that's a lot of books.
It is. That's a lot of books. But, like, honestly, I think I can do it. I think now that I have a library card, instead of buying my books, I can definitely do it. Because my pockets are hurting from the amount of books I bought online this year.
But you also, like, need your trophies.
I do. I'm like, I read that. It's a big book, and I read. This book is 700 pages, and I read the whole thing in, like, one sitting. And I'm proud of myself.
I also reread a lot of my books.
Those are my fun ones. And then the other ones are just like, I want to do a couple of DIY home projects. I really want to do some fun things. I really want to like repaint my kitchen. I want to redo my flooring and just DIY and do it myself. And one thing I really can't DIY myself because I don't know enough about piping and all of that, but I'd love to like redo my bathroom. Like that's another one I'd like to do. So those are just kind of like my like 2024 goals for this upcoming year. But what fun goals do you have for yourself this year? Do you have any?
I don't really have any fun goals. All my goals were very like serious.
You're
like,
very serious. I'm like, oh, like I think I did that. I do that every year. I always have a couple fun goals for myself, so I'm like, doesn't feel as daunting.
But you know, I felt like 2023 was really my year of like quote unquote fun.
Your fun year of your fun goals, yeah.
I had a lot of like I had manifested for myself like a hot girl summer.
Good for you.
And I definitely had a hot girl summer this year. I also like told myself 2023 I was like, I'm gonna have a hoe phase. Like this is gonna be my year of my hoe phase.
This is the year I'm a slut.
Yeah.
You go for it.
I did. I
go off clean.
I mean, I did, but I didn't. I look back at my hoe phase. I'm like, I was such a hoe, and then I was like,
I was such a hoe. I think it's important for people to have a hoe phase.
But I didn't.
At least one, right? Like,
it wasn't even really a hoe phase.
But I mean, if it was a hoe phase to you,
it was a hoe phase to me.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, that can vary depending on the person and what they feel it is.
That's true. I was like talking to one of my girlfriends. Now, mind you, this friend of mine, she was a self-proclaimed slut for a little while. Like, that was her thing.
Good for her.
Yes. She owned that shit. And I was, like, telling her about my hoe phase. And she's like, so how much did your body count go up? I was like, it's 2023. We're not doing that, I thought.
We're not doing that. I don't need to tell you that.
I was like 3. And she's like, that's not a hoe phase. I was like, it was a hoe phase. I slept with 3 whole men. Like, it's a big deal.
Yeah, if you've not done that before, like, then yeah, like, it's relative. It's relative to each individual person.
It was weird. So. My hoe phase was weird. It's a lot of work to be a hoe. I don't want to do it.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work to be a hoe. No, thank you. I'm good on all that. Oh, it's gross.
Yeah, it's okay.
Like, I mean, if you think about it, too, I got a whole ass contract somebody's got to go through before,
That's true, yeah, if you're, okay, like, there's this could be a whole ass episode. Hoe phases. Like, what types of hoe phases there are. Let us know if that's what you want. We'll entertain it if you guys are interested. So.
The hoe phase.
Yeah. But yeah, so those are, I feel like, our goals for this upcoming year. We are manifesting these strongly. So, what are your guys' goals for 2024? What was the things that you took away from 2023? Let us know in the comments. Send us an email if you'd like to get more in depth about it at morethanmissionary69@gmail.com.
I will forever giggle.
You will forever giggle like a 12-year-old boy. We are your hosts. I'm Kristina.
I'm Ashley.
And thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the next one.
On the other side.
On the other side.